Mod ban. Pitudos ban. Mod ban. Pitudos pick. Mod pick. Mod pick. Grace and Viola ban. Pitudos ban. Pitudos pick.
Porque recuerda que no va a haber nada, güey.
15 seconds.
Lorelai.
Mod 2 picks. Fifteen seconds. And Pitudos pick.
Bate cristal, ¿verdad? Sí. Bueno, ¿sabes qué? Agarraron a Nara y luego está el líder, güey. Tú sabes. Saca el diablazo. Lo podría sacar. Cruz.
All right. Well, that's right. And as you can see, we have got into game one. Just so our audience knows, we are only going to be streaming one half of the match. We just wanted the games to be fair for both sides, and the side of Pitudos was having a little bit of lag issues. So we are just going to be watching the stream from the Inara's perspective this game. I hope that's all right for everybody. But yeah, you're absolutely right with the Inara. It's surprising. This is the first Inara that we've seen, not in the tournament, but on the day. And we did see Inara played yesterday by Mizu, and she just understands the hero so well. It's her favorite hero to play, and it's probably the her strongest jungler, and she's a very highly skilled player. So if she gets on her strongest hero, she does have the ability to completely take over the game. Meanwhile, yeah, nice stun comes out, just to slow down Inara a tiny bit, just to do a little bit of damage. Kroll is going to be able to try to stick to her, but Inara does have the banishing kick to keep the Kroll away. If she can get him into the wall, it can have a stun. And then the Dance of the Leaves is going to provide just a little bit of slow onto the Kroll, so he might have a little bit of trouble sticking onto her. But that is Fax on Kroll, and Fax is another one of our highest skilled players around here, so we all know what he can do. Um, in terms of being able to play a wide pool of heroes to a very high skill level. Uh, it looks like the center trait is contested, and it goes on to Gumpy. Gumpy actually steals it from a Kroll. Nobody knows how he does that. it shouldn't really be possible, to be honest. And the peel is coming through, but it looks like Gumpy is going to go down. The Blackfeather with those Heartthrob stacks is able to just do that little bit of extra damage. Meanwhile, Idris is just staying in lane farming. Idris is not going to be any help in these team fights until a little bit later on in the game. Anara knows how to rotate through the map and just get a little bit of counter jungling in. Uh, but the team of Pitudos is all here. Anara steals it. We'll see if she's able to get out. The slow gets onto the Kroll. She might get out of this one. The Grace provides a huge amount of heal. The Banishing Kick, the Grace provides two stuns. The Banishing Kick to kick herself away, and Inara completely gets out, but she goes back in for some reason. The Kroll is on her. Does Kroll have his B up is the question, and yes, he does. The Kroll gets a heal. The Idris is trying to put out as much damage as he can do with his chakram and basic attacks, but it's just nothing at this point in the game. However, the later this game goes, the more damage that Idris is going to do, and eventually Kroll will start to fall off, and Kroll goes down there to the Grace. A little bit of an overstay. He got greedy for the kill. He died. We've all done it. And this is just going to make a free barrier treant, center barrier treant for the Inara. And that's something that the side of Pitudos doesn't really want to see. But Kroll is already back up here in this huge pool to slow her down, and the Grace to get the stun back, and Blackfeather goes down. Grace gets a second kill. Gumpy is mad about last game, it seems like. It seems like Gumpy has had enough. Inara's going in, using her Banishing Kick to get stuns into the wall. Kroll's just running away at this point. And already it looks like the side of the Mon team feels like they're so much stronger, and they're able to kind of command the jungle the way that they want to. 900 gold lead in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Not too big of a difference. Um, but Mizu just understands this hero so well. She knows how to move around, how to get in and out of those fights, able to do a little bit damage to get back out. She just perfectly understands the hero, and the amount of mobility and speed that Inara gets. She gets the every time she does she gets uses those abilities against those trees. She gets a little bit of speed boost, and also she can jump. She just face checks a bush. There was only three, I think, Kroll stacks onto the Inara when he decided to use his B. Perhaps it was used a little bit prematurely. Now it'll be down. He's not able to use it for a larger heal. He does eventually get out and is 1v1ing an Idris. They're leaving Kroll and Idris to fight each other. Inara, meanwhile, goes down. Um, and now Blackfeather kills the Inara. He'll probably be able to take down the Idris here as well. And he does take down with his Rose offensive, but at the same time, Gumpy just using the Holy Novas to the absolute perfection. He's using the Benediction to get in. He's using the Holy Novas for peels. It's exactly what you want to see from a Grace. You couldn't be playing Grace better this game. Meanwhile, Nara just walking around the jungle. Here comes a huge power spike. I'm expecting a fusion too. Yes, there it is. She decides not to pop it. She can just walk away. Kroll does not want to 1v1 Nara at this point in the game. Um, Meanwhile, it looks like they're going to have to be aware of the poke once Blackfeather gets level 8. He's level 7 right now. His poke is going to get really strong. A little bit of an overextension. The Lorelei is forced to use the water wall on the Blackfeather, but it does save his life, so perhaps that's worth it. It's not really how you want to be using it with that level of aggression. You'd like to see the Kroll and the Blackfeather moving in together. I don't know why Lorelei was staying there that long with everybody alive, but perhaps they were just baiting in, waiting for the Blackfeather to come back alive. But no, the turret goes down. Blackfeather's now a little bit alone by himself. Kroll is a little bit low. The Divine Intervention comes in to get a huge heal, but it doesn't matter. Inara goes down again. Perhaps she's a little bit overconfident in that it was a 2v3. Idris, meanwhile, uses his ultimate to get onto the Kroll. But the moment that he comes off, Blackfeather just predicts where he's going to be, uses the on point, and bursts through the Idris. That is 2 kills going onto the Blackfeather, onto both of the carriers. CP Blackfeather, typically a hero that has not been so successful for the tournament, but right now is looking like a very strong pick into this comp. Perhaps he knows exactly what he's doing here. Blackfeather overstayed just a little bit. They're fighting 2v3 for too long. Kroll finally comes back up, but a Holy Nova comes through to stop the Kroll engage, and he just runs out. There's not much a Kroll can do there without a block. Um, Not sure why he went in 1v3 after the Blackfeather was already dead and Lorelei was ready to pull out. The mod team gets a 400 gold each from getting that gold miner. That's a pretty big gold spike there for them. A second item for the Inara is looking like it's going to be a tension bow. Because Inara likes to jump in, jump out, do burst damage, they're going to use the consistent damage on the Idris and have Inara just be annoying and poke with her mobility to just jump around all over the match. Um, So it looks like I haven't. One thing I would like to see out of the Kroll when he's doing these engages, I haven't seen very many Hell's Hearts coming out. So the Kroll ultimate is one of those abilities where if you can throw it out and you get a long stun, the minimum you're going to do is force a block out. At least you're going to force a block out, even if you don't get a stun on somebody. But it's something I would like to see the Pitudos using a little bit more of an engage tool. The Kroll ult is their biggest engage tool. If they can use that to get the blocks out on the side of the mod team, then perhaps they'll be able to change these team fights around. Anara wants this, has to jump back in for it. Is it about half health? But meanwhile, Kroll is just pushing down the lane. Perhaps Anara thought that the team wasn't still here, but they are. She takes a turret shot, jumps back in, block comes through. Absolutely beautiful synergy between the Inara and the Grace. Grace understood when the block needed to come out. They went out, they went in, and then they went out, they went back in again. Um, and through all of that, the Inara was just about a couple of hits from dying. But because they're able to juggle that turret aggro so perfectly, and Kroll is just passing through. Uh, Blackfeather understands who he needs to kill here. The divine intervention comes through from Gumpy, and Nara is fully back up to health. And the Idris uses his ultimate to get onto the Blackfeather, gets the kill. This game might slowly be getting out of hand now. It looks like the Pitudos are losing their synergy, losing their three play. They're kind of separating. They're going in one by one. They're not having clean engages. They might be panicking just a little bit as they feel this game could be slipping away from them as time goes on. One other thing that we have to point out is that because the Idris has his hero perk of that divergent paths, and he's building into the CP power, his attacks now are going to be ranged. He has built enough CP power so that his attacks are no longer melee; they are ranged. So along with a couple of ranged attacks on his chakram, Idris himself is going to be doing a ton of damage at this point. If you add the Dragon's Eye on top of that, once he gets a couple of stacks, it gets a little bit scary. Here's another team breaking out. Once again, Kroll is just completely diving in deep. I think that Pitudos need to try to poke down a little bit, but how do you poke down into a comp that wants to go on you so unbelievably aggressively? Will Mizo live here? No, she goes for the kill on the Lorelei, but the side of the mod probably has enough damage to burn through the turret. So perhaps that was worth it since the kill does go on to the support. And we are looking at a 6K gold difference in about 11 minutes. So that's going to be just about 500 plus gold per minute, about 516 or so gold per minute difference. The gold miner probably doesn't have time to be taken here. It does despawn at 11 minutes and 45 seconds, but while they are just tearing through this gold miner, and it was a little bit of a mistake. Perhaps they should not have done that, but the team fight continues. Pitudos does get the gold mine. They're just they're not sure who to focus. They're completely splitting their aggro. So you can see all three of the mods are low. Meanwhile, the mod team understands that who they need to focus. They just completely focus the Kroll, burst him down, um, and go ahead and get that kill. So now the Kraken is going to spawn in just a couple of minutes, but before the Kraken spawns, they want to take the entire jungle from the side of Pitudos. They're going to take the jungle, they're going to take the Kraken, and they're going to try to push for a win. Um, I think that the game has already gone to the point where Kroll is starting to fall off just a little bit, and especially in base defense, Kroll is one of the weakest heroes. He has to start fights in a bush, or he loses all of his utility. Kroll's perk of the Shadows Empower Me, Kroll's, if he stands still in a bush, the next time he is basic attacking heroes while he has that empowerment up, the whole time he's going to be doing slows. They go for it, and they get it. The Pitudos get the Kraken. Now they're going to have to win this team fight because if the Pitudos get aced at this point, the mod team is not going to care. They're just going to walk into base and go for just burn through the turrets. So it looks like Lorelei might also go down here. The Inara ult is down, but Inara wants that kill onto Blackfeather. Uh, there's the Lorelei kill, and if Inara is up, it looks like a level on Blackfeather. Blackfeather misses his on point. Inara is just backing off. He's just making sure that the Blackfeather's not going to do anything sneaky. Um, all that that means really is that the game might go on slightly longer and last one more team fight. And it because this is just 1,500 free gold for the side of the mod team, and there it is. They don't even get a turret. Um, Inara, they knew Inara was alone at that point. I don't understand why they didn't engage. Perhaps they're trying to induce her to make a mistake, but you can't really make a mistake when you're this far ahead. You see the burst damage coming out. Now she even has a breaking point. So the burst is going to come from the tension bow. She's going to just explode those breaking point stacks and even have consistent damage. So once again, taking the Kraken is good. It means the game is not going to be over at the moment. They get a couple more chances, maybe for team fights. But really, all that does is just delay the inevitable with an 11K, sorry, a 9K gold difference. Anytime you start approaching anything over a 5K gold difference, it becomes really oppressive. If somehow, some way, the Pitudos team can hold this game out for long enough, um, perhaps they could stand a chance because as goal differences mean less and less as the game goes later. But a team fight comes to a huge divine intervention. There's the Kroll down again. Once again, they knew who to focus. The from out of the Inara, the dance to the leaves, the damage is just going into everybody, slowing the Blackfeather's just running away at this point, trying to live. I don't think he's going to. The Inara uses her ult. She didn't want to use it, but she uses it to finish up the ace. Idris is already in the base, just trying to burn through those turrets. He's able to get through the first turret through the barrier completely by himself. Idris now has his second perk of the flash, and once we know as Idris has both perks up, that's a huge amount of damage, and you can't really deal with it. So he gets both turrets, the crystal's going down, and that is the win of game one to the mod team in 15 minutes and 21 seconds.